Welcome back to Awesome Possum Hobbies and Games. This is Chris, and I have my Magic Con at home. This is part number 2, where we are opening the Mystery Box Booster 2. So, Mystery Booster 2 from Wizards. These just came out recently. The only other places you can have a chance to be able to play this other than at home with a home kit, it costs $250. Oh my gosh. But you got a bunch of extra stuff. You can watch video number 1 to see all the stuff that you got and all the stuff I particularly got out of all those included boosters. But the Mystery Booster 2 box is this video. So you can get these at your, I'm hoping you can get them at your local game store, but other than that, you can go to your Magic Cons and other game conventions that Wizards are at to be able to play with these cards. So right now, the cheapest one you can find is right here on TCG Player. I'm sure they're not cheap, so let's go ahead and open them up though. I've seen some of the individual cards go for a significant amount of money, which is unusual. I wasn't expecting, well, I shouldn't expect that a limited product that's not readily available to really not have a ton of value. You know, these are all kind of unique. So each one of these packs, there's 36 packs, I have 15 cards each. We're gonna check these out here. Mystery Box 2. Save that for later and zoom in here. This out of the way. Pack. Here. Pack number 1. 15 cards. Each of these cards looks like they're going to have these little symbol at the bottom, so you know that they came from either mystery or set cards. So that's always a fun little additional thing, because all the numbers on them are from the original set, and not from the mystery set. Because see, like this set didn't have well, there are numbers there, but not all of them are going to have numbers on, which is kind of cool. I'm just going to stop on, see, like that one doesn't have any numbers on it. Just 1996, because that was originally printed in Mirage for Incinerate. Glamour. Tail Swipe. Counter Squall. First rare is Shared Summons for 2 green, 3 generic for an instant. Search your library for up to 2 creature cards with different names, reveal them and put them in your hand, then shuffle your library. And something that's new, unique. White border cards. We haven't seen white border cards since, what was it, 9th edition? That's strange, man. You know, white border cards we first started seeing in Unlimited. You know, everyone sees revised ones with dual lands, but it's interesting to see them make that choice, because some people really hate, they have disdain for white borders. Some people like them. I'm personally not a fan. Umbra Mantle. Mana Bond with the time-shifted version of Mana Bond's 1 green. It's enchantment. At the beginning of your end step, you may reveal from your hand and put all land cards from it onto the battlefield. If you do, discard the rest of your hand. And Naturalize 2 for this is a test card, which is why you have that. It's actually just printed directly on there, so it's not a sticker like some of the test cards you see if you go and play in some of those special events that are at Magic Con or some of the larger events. This is Naturalized 2, a green, 1 generic for an instant. Destroy target artifact, enchantment, emblem, or gameplay tracker. Trackers include play aids such as dungeons, cities blessings, and monarchs. When you destroy it, the associated object or designation is removed from the game. Nice Rule 0 card. If you want to be able to play and destroy emblems, this is the only way to do it. On to the next pack. Now, these are designed specifically to play draft or sealed format of some sort. So if you have an opportunity, do it. Do it. You know, get some commander cards in there. This is Portal 2, I believe. Gigs, which is a nice little reprint. Arms Dealer. Tangle. Queen Elves. Razorfin Hunter. Garth One Eye for one of each. White, blue, black, red, and green for a 5/5 legendary creature human wizard. Taps, choose a card name that hasn't been chosen from among Disenchant, Brain Geyser, Terror, Shaven Dragon, Regrowth, and Black Lotus. Create a copy of the card with the chosen name. You may cast the copy, so you'll pay the mana cost. Spell Pierce. Norwood Priestess, which is 2 green, 2 generic for 1/1 creature elf druid. Tap, you may put a green card from your hand on the battlefield. Activate only on your turn before attackers are declared. Orb of Origin for 0. It's a poly artifact. Cost 2 and add 1 mana of any color. Other non-creature artifacts are mono and continuous. Each activated ability of mono artifacts costs an additional tap to activate, as long as it doesn't already include a tap. As long as a continuous artifact is tapped, it loses all abilities. Nice. Pack number 3. It's interesting the cards they choose for this. Some of them are just, kind of garbage you never see again. Some of them are very, very interesting that you would want to get copies of for your decks. Like Anger. Who doesn't want to have an Anger in a red deck for Commander? Well, we have Summon Apes, which is kind of janky. But what do you expect? This is Mystery Booster Studio. It's a mystery of what kind of cards you're going to get. And the next card is Herald of Secret Streams. For a blue and 3 generic for a 2/3 creature Merfolk Warrior. Creatures you control at the +1/+1 counter cannot be blocked. Nice. Ice Fang Coddle, which is another rare. For a blue, a green, it's a 1/1 snow creature snake, flash, flying, and when it enters the battlefield, you can draw a card. This card has Death Touch as long as you control at least 3 other snow permanents. And it's a white border, so that's weird. Merchant Scroll, nice little reprint. Sorcery. For a blue, a 1 generic, Sorcerer Library. For a blue instant card, reveal it and put it in your hand, then shuffle. As a sorcerer speed, it's not great, but it's cool. Keeper of the Crown for a L2 generic. I don't know what L is, but I guess I should read it. L can be paid for 1 mana from a legendary source. It has to be like a legendary land or a creature that taps reduce mana if it is a legendary. It's a 3/4 creature human noble. Other legendary creatures you control get +1/+1 and have indestructible. Coronation of the Wilds for a green and 2 generic. Sorcery Adventure. Target creature you control becomes a legendary noble in addition to its other types, and taps reduce 1 mana of any color, and you get to draw a card. Nice. That's a cool little roll 0 card. Pack number 4. Those playtest cards can be absolutely brutal. Tireless Provisioner, which has been reprinted into the ground. Grisly Fate. God Pharaoh's Statue. Bad Moon for a black and 1 generic for an enchantment. Black creatures you get +1/+1. It's not just your black creatures, it's all black creatures. And Meekstone for 1 generic mana. Creatures with power 3 or greater do not untap during their controller's untap steps. And Odric, Lunar Marquee for a black and 2 generic for a 3/3 legendary creature human soldier. At the beginning of each combat, creatures you control gain banding until the end of your next turn. If a creature you control has banding, the same is true for Changeling, Devoid, Fear, Flanking, Horsemanship, Ingest, Intimidate, Landwalk, Shroud, Tantrum, and Wither and have the activated ability of sacrifice this creature to add a colorless mana. It's a test card, so you don't have to know all that stuff. Has all the abilities that the other Roderick does not have. So it's kind of weird, man. Kind of weird. Okay, next pack. Wicked Pact. That's a cool card with a retro frame. 2 black, 1 generic for sorcery. Destroy 2 target non-black creatures. You lose 5 life. Life Force. That's a good one. Skyshroud Claim. Nice reprint. Crystalline Crawler for 4 generic mana. It is an artifact creature construct for 1/1. And it enters the battlefield with +1/+1 counters on it for each color of mana spent to cast it. So if you cast it with 4 different colors, it's a 5/5. If you cast it with 2 different colors, it's a 3/3. Remove a +1/+1 counter from it to add 1 mana of any color. Tap to put a +1/+1 counter on this card. Snow-covered forest. Reset. And the playtest card is Rule with an Even Hand Conspiracy. Start the game with this conspiracy face up in the command zone. Sounds great for Commander. You can't attack with an odd number of creatures. Whenever you attack, double the creature's power until end of turn. Huh. Next pack. Narcolepsy. Nice. Desert. Grist the Hunger Tide. It's a black, green, and 1 generic for 3 loyalty legendary planeswalker Grist. As long as the hunger isn't on the battlefield, it's a 1/1 insect creature in addition to its other types. So if it's in your deck, it's a creature. If it's in your hand, it's a creature. If it's in exile, it's a creature. If it's in play, it is a planeswalker. And the +1 loyalty is create a 1/1 black and green insect creature token and then mill a card. If it's an insect card milled this way, put a loyalty counter on Grist and repeat this process. -2, you may sacrifice a creature, and then when you do, destroy target creature or planeswalker. -5, each opponent loses life equal to the number of creature cards in your graveyard. Nice. Abrupt Decay. For a white border, it is a white, a black. For an instant, this spell can't be countered. Destroy target non-land permanent with mana value 3 or less. And next card is Tormund's Crypt. It is an uncommon artifact, 0 artifact. Tap, sacrifice this card, exile target player's graveyard. And Mother's Yamazaki for a white, a red, and 2 generic for a 2/2 legendary creature human samurai. Partner with itself. When it enters, target player may put a Mother Yamazaki into their hand from their library and then shuffle a commander card. Commander deck can include 2 of this card and they can be your commander. So even though it's legendary, as long as you control exactly 2 permanents named Mother's Yamazaki, the legendary rule doesn't apply to them, and samurai you control get +2/+2 and have vigilance and haste till end of turn. There you go. Those test cards. Seems like it's just, a lot of them just a word salad. Probe. Sublime Epiphany. This one is a word salad by itself. 2 blue, 4 generic for an instant. Choose 1 or more. Mode 1, counter target spell. Mode 2, counter target activated ability or triggered ability. Mode 3, return target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. Mode 4, create a token that's a copy of target creature you control. And Mode 5, target player draws a card. Nice. Chain Lightning. Elvish Reclaimer. Elvish Reclaimer is 1 green for 1/2 creature elf warrior. Elvish Reclaimer gets +2/+2 and has as long as there are 3 or more land cards in your graveyard. Pay 2, tap, sacrifice a land, search your library for a land card, put it on the battlefield tapped, then shuffle. Boltfire, 1 red for sorcery. This card deals 2 damage to a target. Flash forward for a red and 4 generic. You may cast this card from exile for its flash forward cost, then put it in the bottom of your library. Third of the way through. Yes, only a third of the way through. Just about a third. One more pack. Scourge Familiar. Bushwhack, nice little reprint. Showdown of Skalds for a white, 1 red and 2 generic for a saga. Chapter 1, exile top 4 cards of your library until the end of your next turn. You may play those cards. Chapter 2 and Chapter 3, whenever you cast a spell this turn, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. Snow-covered waste, white border. Nice. And it's borderless. Contagion and Value Town. Value Town is a land. Value Town enters the battlefield tapped. Taps produce a blue or red. And then it has an adventure sorcery to take a trip. For blue or red, for generic, draw 2 cards. This spell deals 2 damage to each opponent. Then exile this card. You may play it later for the land from exile. Nice. Welcome to Value Town. Lots and lots of packs. Tons of packs. It's fun seeing all the cards throughout Magic's history being in these mystery boosters. Some of the cards are much better than others. Some of them are just nostalgia factories. This one's been downprinted from rare to uncommon, which is nice. Gorgon Flail. Yosei, the Morning Star. For 2 white, 4 generic, for a 5/5 legendary creature Dragon Spirit with flying, and then when it dies, target player skips their next his or her next untap step. Tap up to 5 target permanents that player controls. Faithless Looting and white border. Goblin King. Little Goblin King with some amazing artwork. And Dwarven Confluencer. 1 red, 2 generic for 1/1 creature dwarf. Tap, destroy target non-token land. Its controller creates a mana confluence token. I'm going to slowly destroy all of my land so I can get mana confluence tokens. So I can take some damage and have any color manas I want. Next pack. Hey, there's a Italian Plague Engineer, 1 black, 2 generic for a 2/2 creature carrier with Death Touch. As this card enters the battlefield, you choose a creature type. Creatures of the chosen type your opponent's control get -1/-1. Mutilate, sorcery. For 2 black, 2 generic, all creatures get -1/-1 until end of turn for each swamp you control. And then Kataki's War Wage. For a white and 1 generic for 2/1 legendary creature spirit. All artifacts have at the beginning of your upkeep. Sacrifice this artifact unless you pay 1 generic. Penumbra Umbra for 1 green, 1 generic for is an enchantment. Aura. Enchant creature you control. Whenever Penumbra Umbra is put into the graveyard from the battlefield, create a token that's a copy of enchanted creature except the token is black. With Umbra Armor, if an enchanted creature would be destroyed, instead remove all damage from it and destroy this aura. Interesting. Guess they wanted to use a play on words. I wonder if some of these cards weren't exactly playtest cards or if they just got AI to write some of them, because some of them are just way out there in left field. It's weird. Some of them are just strange, man. Just strange. Exhaustion. Bad deal. Two-hand axe. Charge through. Is it Boiler Works? Blatant Thievery. For 3 blue, 4 generic. Sorcery. For each opponent, gain control of target permanent that player controls. Nice. Ash Barrens. White border. Forsaken Crossroads. When it enters the battlefield, you get to choose a color. When it enters the battlefield, it comes into play tap though. When it enters the battlefield, scry 1. If you weren't the starting player, you may untap this card, and then it taps to reduce 1 mana of the chosen color. The chosen one. Nice. It's got Acorn though, so you can't play it in a lot of different formats. Call from the Grave. For a black 2 generic sorcery. Put a random creature card from your graveyard, from a random graveyard into play under your control. Call from the Grave deals damage to you equal to the damage equal to the creature's casting cost. Nice. God, there's a lot of packs in this. I'm sorry how long this video takes. Hall of Swords. Portal. Killer Whale. Seen that card in forever. No one wants to see that card. Tainted Wood. Murderous Raider. We haven't seen this one in a few sets. This is from the original Eldraine set. 2 black, 1 generic. It is a creature zombie knight for 2/3 lifelink. When a Murderous Raider dies, put it on the bottom of your owner's library. Swift End is the adventure side. For an instant, 2 black, 1 generic. Destroy target creature or planeswalker. You lose 2 life. Stony Silence. Activated abilities of artifacts can't be activated. For only a white and 1 generic. It's enchantment, not bad. Tinder Wall. And Marchesa's Surprise Party. Conspiracy. Secret Mission. Start the game with this conspiracy face up in the command zone. Before the game, secretly choose one of the following. During your end step, if you meet the condition, you may reveal your choice and this turn this card face down. When you do, collect the reward. Option number 1, you cast 3 or more spells this turn. An opponent lost 6 or more life this turn. And option 3, there are 9 or more cards in your graveyard. Reward. Draw a card. Those conspiracies are interesting. Of course, I never played with Conspiracy, so I don't know exactly how those are played. I'll look it up sometime. Johnny, the Great-Hearted. For white, green, 2 generic. For a 5 loyalty planeswalker. Johnny, creatures you control have vigilance and +1. You gain 3 life. -2 loyalty. Put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control and a loyalty counter on each other planeswalker you control. Colossal Dreadmaw, white border. Thassa's Oracle. Nice little pickup there. With the time shifted, so it's got a different border on it. 1/3 creature, Merfolk Wizard. When it enters the battlefield, look at the top X cards of your library, where X is your devotion to blue. Put one of them on top of your library. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. If X is greater than or equal to the number of cards in your library, you win the game. Just nice, nice. And Rune Terror, 6 artifact creature, elemental champion, 6/6. Instead of taking turns as normal, players take their phases sequentially. For example, you take the beginning phase as the active player, then the next player in turn order becomes the active player and takes the beginning phase. After each player's beginning phase, do the same for the main phase, combat phase, second phase, ending phase, and then beginning phase. Again, if this creature leaves the battlefield, active player continues. Gurud, Conclave Exile. For a red, green, white, and 2 generic. For a 2/5 legendary creature human shaman. When it enters the battlefield, create a 4/4 rhino green creature token with trample. And when it attacks, populate The token enters the battlefield tapped and attacking. Good times. Wish. For a red and 2 generic sorcery, you may play a card from you own from outside the game this turn. Natural Order. Natural Order is 2 green, 2 generic for a sorcery. As an additional cost to cast this spell, sacrifice a green creature, search your library for a green creature, put it on the battlefield, and then shuffle. And Luxior, ignited 4 generic mana for a legendary artifact, Planeswalker equipment Luxor with 1 loyalty. Equipped creature gets +1/+1 for each counter on this card. +1 loyalty. Attach this equipment to 1 target creature you control. -2. Equipped creature gets +2/+2 until end of turn. And double strike. Good times. Next pack. Fast forward some a little bit on these commons and uncommons. If you want to stop and see it, always pause the video. Conspicuous Snoop. 2 red for a 2/2 creature Goblin Rogue. Play with the top card of your library revealed. You may cast Goblin spells from the top of your library. As long as the top card of your library is a Goblin card, Conspicuous Snoop has all activated abilities of that card. White border cards is Steve, the Sakura Tribe Elder. Nice. Force Bear reprint. It's a 2/2 bear for a green and 1 generic. This card hasn't been seen since Portals 3 Kingdoms, but you know. And then the test card is a Glade of the Pump Spells. 1 green, 2 generic for a land. You have to pay the 1 green, 2 generic to play this land spell. As your land drop, it's green. And when this card enters the battlefield, up to 1 target creature gets +2/+2 till end of turn, and trample. And it taps to reduce 2 green mana. Nice. Nice. Weird, but nice. I swear AI has designed some of these cards. If you know for a fact I'm wrong, let me know in the comments below. Timeless Dragon. 2 white, 3 generic for a 5/5 creature dragon. Flying with plane cycling 2, so you can pay 2 and discard this card. Search your library for a planes card, reveal it and put it in your hand, then shuffle. Eternalize for 2 white, 2 generic. Exile this card from your graveyard. Create a token that's a copy of it, except it's a 4/4 black zombie dragon with no mana cost. Eternalize only as a sorcery. White border card is Containment Priest. For a white, 1 generic for a 2/2 creature human cleric flash. So you can play it as an instant. If a non-token creature would enter the battlefield, if it wasn't cast, exile it instead. Serenity. We haven't seen that card in a long time. Serenity is a white, 1 generic for enchantment. At the beginning of your upkeep, destroy all artifacts and enchantments. They can't be regenerated. And, of course, Mad Lands is the test card. Mad Lands is enters the battlefield taps to reduce a black or a red, and it has madness of 0. So discarding this card, when you discard this card, discard into exile. When you do, play it for its madness cost or put it into your graveyard. You can play a land only during your turn and only if you have an available land play remaining. Mad Lands. So after this pack, we're about 2/3 of the way through the box. Okay, Grave Troll. Interesting reprint. For a green 4 generic, it's a 0/0 creature troll skeleton. Enters the battlefield with +1/+1 counters on it for each creature card in your graveyard. You can pay 1 generic, remove a +1/+1 counter from it to regenerate this card, and it has Dredge 6. Nice. Displacer Kitten in White border. Displacer Kitten is a blue and 3 generic for a 2/2 creature cat beast. Avoidance. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, exile up to one target non-land permanent you control, then return that card to the battlefield under its owner's control. Sabo's Web for 2 generic mana for an artifact. When it enters the battlefield, draw a card. Each land with an activated ability that isn't a mana ability doesn't untap during its controller's untap step. And then Gobland. Gobland, it's a 2/1 land creature. Gobland spell isn't affected by Summoning Sickness, and it has tapped by, because it's a mountain, it taps to reduce a red mana, and it cannot block. Nice. Get a free creature, and it's a land, and it has haste. Oh, it's a Gobland isn't a spell, it's affected by Summoning Sickness. Oh, so it's a 2/1 for free, but it's also a land, but can't attack. Interesting. Muddle the mixture. Fellstinger. Hymn of the Wilds. Conspiracy. It's a mythic. Start the game with this conspiracy face up in the command zone. The first creature spell you cast each turn costs 1 generic less. You can't cast instants or sorcery spells. Nice. Days. Dark Ritual reprint with a nice time-shifted border. Can't quite recall. For a blue mana, instant Forbidden. This spell can't be in your starting deck. Yes, you read that right. You need to figure out a way to get it into the game without being in your deck. Target player draws 3 cards. Can't quite recall it. Huh? Nice. Cute. If you like this kind of content, please remember to like and subscribe, because I like doing these, but I need some help here. Please like and subscribe. I appreciate it. Next card is Path of Discovery. 1 green, 3 generic for an enchantment. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control, it explores. Exploring is reveal the top card of your library. Put that card into your hand if it's a land. Otherwise, put +1/+1 counter on the creature. Then put the card back or put it into your graveyard. Sarkhan Fireblood for 2 red, 1 generic, 3 loyalty planeswalker. Sarkhan +1. You may discard a card. If you do, draw a card. +1. Add 2 mana of any combination of colors. Spend this mana only to cast dragon spells. -7. Create 4 5/5 red dragon creature tokens with flame. Crackdown for white and 2 generic. It's enchantment. Whenever a non-white creature with power 3 or greater, non-white creatures with power 3 or greater do not untap during their controller's untap phase. And then Bridget, who has seen some stuff. 2 white, 2 generic for a 3/3 creature. Legendary creature, Kithkin, Archer, Vigilance. Nimble, this creature can't be blocked by creatures with power 3 or greater. Kithkins you control have Thought Weft. A creature with Thought Weft has all printed keywords of other creatures you control with Thought Weft. Well, she has seen it. That's why it's important to not be naked all the time. Still, my house, pants are optional. Survivor's Encampment. Wake Thrasher. For a blue and 2 generic for a 1/1 creature Merfolk Soldier. Whenever a permanent you control becomes untapped, Wake Thrasher gets +1/+1 till end of turn. Wow, that could be nice. No art, because it's white out. 1 green, 1 colorless. Instant, all creatures lose flying till end of turn. Sacrifice a snowland. Return white out from your graveyard to your hand. Counterbalance reprint. 2 blue, enchantments. Whenever an opponent casts a spell, you may reveal the top card of your library. If you do, counter that spell if it's the same mana value as the revealed card. And then Terrapin Turbo Turtle. Hey, Turtle Guy on the internet, you know who you are. You want this guy. For a blue, a red, and 2 generic for a 4/3. Legendary creature, Turtle Athlete, Flash, Haste. You ignore the words activate only as a sorcery while activating abilities. Nice. 4 packs left. 4 packs left. It's a long video. I'm sorry, guys. When you have to read 3 cards per pack, it can take some time. Well, if you know how to skip 10 seconds or 30 seconds or however long it takes for me to get through each of these packs. There's Red Cap, good preprint. Trainer, Nightmare, Adept. For a black, a red, and 2 generic for a 3/2 legendary creature human minion. Discard a card. You may cast a creature spell from your graveyard this turn. Activate only once each turn whenever a non-token creature enters the battlefield under your control. If you didn't cast it from your hand, it gains haste till you enter your next turn. Wishclaw Talisman in white border. A black, 1 generic artifact. When it comes into play with 3 wish counters on it. Pay 1, tap, remove a wish counter from your Wishclaw Talisman, search your library for a card, put it in your hand, then shuffle. An opponent gains control of this card, activate only during your turn. A Hunting Cheetah, which is just common. And common black removal. 2 black, 2 generic, instant, choose 1, destroy target creature, then create a food, create treasure, put a menace counter on creature you control, or that creature's controller mills cards equal to its power. 3 packs left? Yes. 3 packs left. Yeah, there's actually a sliver in here, and that's interesting. Elsha of the Infinite. Red, white, and blue, and 2 generic for a 3/3 legendary creature. Djinn Monk has prowess whenever you cast a non-creature spell. This creature gets +1/+1 until end of turn. You may look at the top card of your library anytime. You may cast non-creature spells from the top of your library. If you cast a spell this way, you may cast it if it had Flash. Reliquary Tower in white border. Proteus Staff, 3 generic mana as an artifact. Pay a blue and 2 generic, tap, and put target creature on the bottom of its owner's library. That creature's controller reveals cards from the top of their library until they reveal a creature card. That player puts that card on the battlefield and the rest on the bottom of their library in a random order. Activate only as sorcery. Werewat. Green, 3 generic for a creature werewolf for a 4/3. It has Daybound as a werewolf. Enters the battlefield, you may exile a creature card from your graveyard or hand. If you do, that card becomes this creature's back face, and the back face of Nightbound. If exile a card from your hand this way, draw a card. Nothing on the back. 2 packs left. Yes, 2 packs left. Wall of Possums. Which of the Moors? 2 black, 2 generic for a 4/4 creature human warlock has Death Touch at the beginning of your end step. If you gain a life this turn, each opponent sacrifices a creature and you return up to 1 target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. Hollow One, nice little reprint, 5 generic mana for a 4/4 artifact creature golem. This spell costs 2 less to cast. For each cycled or discarded card this turn has cycling of 2 generic mana. And mana for a red and 2 generic for an enchantment. Whenever a player taps a land for mana, that player adds 1 mana of any type to that land produced. And Chea, friend to maybe too many for a white, a black, a green, 1 generic for 2/4 legendary creature human wizard. Familiar spells you cast have Flash. Bats, birds, cats, dragons, fairies, foxes, frogs, imps, wizards, lizards, and spiders are all familiars, as well as any creature with a familiar in its name. And taps reduce X green mana, and each opponent loses X life, where X is the number of familiars you control. Not a bad little rule 0 commander. Would I play with it? Probably not, but always an option. Someone out there will have fun building that deck. Last pack, Silver Knight. A lot of downshifted cards, which is cool. Like Silver Knight, that used to be uncommon. Goblin Goliath. 2 red for generic for a 5/4 creature goblin mutant. When it enters the battlefield, create a number of 1/1 red goblin creature tokens equal to the number of opponents you have. For red and 3 generic and tapped, if a source you control would deal damage to an opponent this turn, it deals double the damage to that player instead. Brain Freeze in white border, nice. Zombie Master, a little reprint there. Zombie Master, two black, 1 generic for a creature zombie. Nice. It has zombie instead of lord for 2/3. Other zombies you control have Swamp Walk. Other zombies who have 1 black regenerate this permanent. And the final test card. Don't worry about it. A green, a blue, 1 generic for enchantment aura. Enchant land, enchant creature, a card in your hand. This aura remains on the battlefield. If you play enchanted card or it otherwise leaves your hand, put this card aura into your graveyard. Enchant card costs 1 generic, cost less. When you cast enchanted card, copy it. Huh, interesting. See why it's a test card, because it's weird and confusing and strange, and you don't know what the card is unless you reveal it. You have to reveal it? What's going on there? Who knows? Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Until next time, I hope you have a fantastic week, and remember to keep it rolling.
And thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please take the time to like the video and subscribe if you'd like to stay updated. Have a great day, and keep them rolling.